Boatworks today is sponsored by Total Boat and Alexial Yacht Coatings, as well as supported by the generosity from the beautiful folks over on Patreon. Thank you so much. So, good morning. Now, before we get started, evidently there was a little bit of confusion over last week's video where I got all these port lights prepped and I installed what I was referring to as a backer piece. And there was a lot of people who weren't quite sure if that was the only layer of glass that I was going to be laying up, and if I was just going to be tabbing around the perimeter of it to kind of tie everything together. And I know I recorded it. That part may have gotten edited out of the video during the process, but to answer the question, is there going to be more glass going over top of this? Yes, there is. So where we left off last week is I just had a single layer of 1.5 ounce chop strand matting that I had wet out on the table, let it cure overnight, cut it to shape, and then I installed it. Now, the size of these pieces is literally maybe a 1/16 of an inch larger than the actual cutout itself. Now, chop strand matting in and of itself just doesn't have hardly any strength or stiffness to it at all. That's, when I peeled it off the table, it was kind of like a stiff bed sheet. There's not much going on there. And for using it as a backer piece, that was absolutely ideal because it needed to be able to conform to a slight curvature along the side of the cabin. And if I had used anything other than, say, like a lightweight material like chop strand, I would have had a little bit of difficulty because the edges would have wanted to kind of spring out, and it would not have worked as smoothly as it did. So going over top of this, I'm not sure exactly how many layers I'm going to be able to fit over top of this before I start to become flush with the surrounding areas. But the plan is I'm going to cut 3 layers. I suspect I'm going to be able to get 2 down for sure. I don't know about the third, but I want to have 1 more layer on hand just in case. Now, that's what I have planned to go on the exterior. Now, on the interior side, I am going to be laying some additional glass on the inside as well. That's not going to happen this week because I've still got quite a bit more prep that I need to do as far as getting the surrounding area here cleaned up, all the old residual glue pulled off and cleaned and then sanded. But going over top of this side on the interior, I am going to be laying some additional glass as well, and that's primarily just to kind of give a little bit more stiffness to the actual sides of the cabin itself, because right now they are awfully thin. So I hope that clears up that little bit of confusion, and if there's any more, go ahead and leave those down below in the comment section. But for right now, let's get started on what we're doing this week. Now, it seems like every time I bust this little guy out, I have a bunch of people asking where they can get it, where I got mine, so on and so forth. Now, if you're not familiar with this is just a pair of electric shears. And I use these, I've used these for the last 7, maybe even 8 years now at this point. This specific pair, I haven't replaced this. This is the original scissors that I got many years ago. And I got this from Jamestown Distributors. And I'll be the first to admit, when I first got it and I was just kind of handling it and kind of, checking it out, I wasn't real confident that it was going to last, really any period of time. But here we are, 7, 8 years later, this thing has cut hundreds of yards of 1708. It hasn't skipped a beat. It's going as strong as the day that I first got it. The cutter head that's on here is still, again, hot knife through butter. I have never replaced this. The only thing that has happened to me, which was 100% my fault, is it took a little bit of a drop off of one of the boats that I was working on, and the head of it, this yellow part up here, this just snapped right off. The little tabs that are here that kind of help lock it in place. The tab snapped, but it wasn't anything that a little bit of CA glue didn't fix. And again, I did that fix on there well over a couple of years ago now at this point, and it hasn't affected it at all. Now, I will have a link down below in the description if this is something that you are interested in. I will say, if you have a bunch of cutting to do, it is 100%. It beats the hell out of, running around with a regular old pair of scissors doing the old snippy. Now, once I start mixing up material here, I'm not going to have a whole lot of time to explain the details as far as what I'm using and how I'm using it. So I'm going to run through that real quick right now. Now, around each of these port lights, I've got a very slight lip here, and that's just a little bit of height difference between the backing piece I put in last week and where I tapered down around the sides. So I've got a very shallow little ledge here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up a small little batch of the repair putty, and using a plastic spreader, I'm just going to apply a very, very thin coat just over this lip area. I'm not necessarily looking for any build anywhere, except I just want to create a little bit of a ramp right here, so that I'm laying my glass, everything, that material is going to be able to make full contact with its substrate. And then over top of that, I'm going to be laying all the 1708, and for wetting all that material out, I am going to be using a non-waxed laminating poly resin. Now, both the repair putty as well as the material I'm going to be using for wetting out the glass, they are both polyester based, right? And they are both non-waxed material. So what that means is that I'll be able to come in and do my, thin little spreading of the repair putty, take up that ledge. And then while that material is still wet, I can come right back over top of that and start wetting out my glass. I can go wet on wet. I don't need to allow anything to set up or cure or anything like that. Wet on wet, as long as the base material, I guess, in this case it's polyester, as long as it's poly over top of poly, absolutely zero issues there. Now, that's kind of one little added benefit. Now, in addition to the repair putty kind of taking up that little ramp all around each of these openings, it's also going to act somewhat like a glue layer, so that when I'm applying my 1708 while it's still dry, that repair putty is going to be tacky enough where it's going to help me to hold that glass in place until I can actually come back and start wetting it out. So the repair putty is kind of doing two jobs at once, and it's going to work out beautiful. I've done this many, many times. It always works, never fails. Good morning. Let's see if our material cooperated. Now, I was only able to get 2 layers of 1708 up yesterday, and I feel like I'm missing something here, like I'm overlooking something. The actual thickness of the cabin sides where the windows were, when I cut those out, when I tapered everything back, I made that taper the full thickness of the laminate, which was just under 1/4 inch in thickness. So theoretically, I should have been able to get at least 4 layers of 1708 up and still be a little bit low. But the fact that I only got 2, and at least around the perimeter, the edges, that looked like it was getting flush. So what I suspect is happening is that the actual perimeter is probably built up as far as it needs to be, but I think it's still going to be low, kind of like right in through the middle here. So to kind of test that out, let me see if I can MacGyver a little jig up here to kind of better show kind of what I'm trying to explain here. All right, so this is just a real quick and dirty here. This batten, this is able to conform. So I've got it flat on the aft edge as well as flat up against the forward edge. And just kind of looking at it here, again, you know, there's a good sized gap, but it's only in this forward area here. You know, say from about mid port light up to almost the forward edge. What I think is going on here is that right at the fore and aft edges, I've got a little bit of a build there, and that's what's holding off this plank from actually being able to rest tight against the side of the cabin. So first things first, I guess I need to knock that down, sand it flush, and then kind of redo this thing with the jig here, just to kind of see what we're really working with. Now, unfortunately, in order to sand this, I've got to cure it first. So today, I think as much as I don't want to burn a day, I think what needs to happen is I need to go over top of this, cure the fiberglass, so that I can come in tomorrow, hit the perimeter, sand everything down, and then get a better idea of as far as what all of the port lights truly look like. And if I'm able to lay up more glass, great. Now I am planning on laying some additional glass on the interior side, but I want the majority of that build to be on the exterior, because it's a lot easier working, to be perfectly honest. So now for curing this material off, I'm going to be using a gel coat that contains wax, and you can see right on here it'll say, in that green label, it says it contains wax, right? Now, I don't have to use this. I do have other options if I wanted to. For example, if I wanted, I could take the same resin that we used for wetting out the glass yesterday. This was a non-wax, but they make a wax additive that you can mix in with this, and essentially it takes this from a laminating resin, turns it into a finishing resin. I could also use a product that's called PVA, or polyvinyl alcohol. Essentially, it's like a liquid plastic. All 3 of these options will accomplish the exact same thing. However, the reason I tend to use gel coat that contains wax is because it has like a built-in guide coat. You know, so wherever I roll it out, you know, because this is white, I'm able to see exactly where I've coated. And more specifically, I'm able to make sure that I'm actually getting the material laid up thick enough, because gel coat, or polyester material in general, if you get it applied too thinly, it's not going to cure. You need to have a minimum film thickness in order for it to chemically do its thing. Again, I'm not the chemist, but from experience, I know that's just how this works. So I am going to be going with gel coat that does contain wax, and I'm just going to roll this out and let it chooch overnight, and then we'll be back again in the morning. All right, so I've gone ahead and I've wiped everything down to remove the wax that had floated up to the surface from this gel coat here. So now we're ready to sand, but that's not going to be very interesting. So let's do a little one of these. And just like that, the sanding is done. Now, just kind of based on how the sanding itself went, I have a bit of a hunch on how this is actually going to look when I put the Curvature Plank 2000 against the side of the hull, or against the side of the cabin here. But again, it's one of those things you don't really know until you know. All right, and specifically what I'm looking at here is when I'm sanding around the edges here, I'm knocking down gel coat outside of the area that I had initially prepped. So that pretty much tells me that this edge is already really close, if not slightly low compared to here, but it's not by much. You can see the sanding marks didn't come up real high. It just came up just slightly above where I had my taper established. And this is happening pretty much all the way around. All right, let's have a little bit of look-see and see how things are truly looking here. Now, up on this forward edge, I've got good contact coming in through here. So the front is laying down. The aft is laying down. I'm actually getting a little bit of a gap beyond where I did all my prep work. So a little bit in through here, but then for the most part, all along here, I've got great contact. Now, once we start getting up, again, just for a little bit of a bearing here, start getting into like the forward half of this particular port light. And there is a very, very slight gap here, but that is 100% within reason for allowing the fairing compound to take this up rather than laying in another piece of glass. Now, I'll go around and I'll check the other 3 port lights here, but the one thing to keep in mind here is that what I want to avoid is laying up more glass than what's actually needed, because during the fairing process, all that is just going to end up getting sanded back off anyway. So it's wasted work, it's wasted time, and wasted materials. So I think what I'm going to do, at least on this starboard aft port light, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to leave this be, and I'm going to take up any of that shaping that needs to be done. I'm going to take that up with some fairing compound. Now, that still doesn't change the fact that there's only 2 layers of glass on here and it's still thin. However, I have a lot more flexibility with what I'm able to do on the interior side of these port lights than on the exterior. Because the exterior, the shape is what it is. Once that shape is established, there isn't any more build that can be done. All that's going to have to be taken back up on the interior side. Now, I'll be able to add in 4 or more layers of glass on the interior because, you know, the tentative plan as of right now is I'm going to have some furring strips kind of running vertical all along the sides of the cabin, you know, maybe like 1/2 inch by whatever, 2 inch wide strips. And that's going to be kind of nailers or mounting pieces for, I'm going to have some type of planking going along the interior side, mahogany, teak, whatever it may happen to be. So I have room on the interior side that I can get the additional layering built back up for these port lights, but I'm about at the where it needs to be for the exterior side. But that said, I've only checked this one so far. Let me check all the others. See if I can bring you in here and show you. All right, so this is kind of how we're looking here. Again, slight little gap, but not much. Not enough to warrant laying in another layer of glass. Okay, and we're over on the port side. Forward port light. Again, the exact same thing. Not even a layer of glass of a gap, you know, in through here. So, one more. A little bit more of a gap on this large port side one. But again, you know, this can easily be taken up at the fairing compound. So I think that's going to be the plan going forward here into next week. This week is already I'm already out of time. It's 5 o'clock on Saturday evening. So the exterior is going to get the final shaping with the fairing compound. Then I'll be switching gears and then laying all the additional glass. Again, 4 layers. I want to have at least a solid 1/4 inch of 1708 thickness on all 4 of these port lights. So that will be the plan, part of the plan for next week. I have something kind of fun planned for the next video, because with Christmas and then shortly after that, we got New Year's coming in. So I want to kind of do something a little bit different, fun. I think you're going to enjoy it. And on that note, now I'm going to wrap up this video. So as always, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found this interesting. And if you did, hit that thumbs up button. If you're not always subscribed, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Thank you in advance. I greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions, comments, feel free to leave those down below. I will do my best to follow up with you. And as always, I want to thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. Have a safe Christmas. I'll see you again before New Year's. But thanks for everything, and I will see you in the next video.
This has been a Boatworks Today production.